Jane Kiringai, the chairperson of the Commission on Revenue Allocation, the other CRA commissioners present here, the entire devolution family, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Allow me to register my sincere appreciation for the invitation to attend this very important event. I also wish to say on my own behalf and on behalf of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya to commend CRA for convening today's launch of the comprehensive on-source revenue, potential and tax gaps study report. This study, undertaken by CRA with the support of World Bank, is a remarkable milestone and couldn't have come at a better time like now. It has coincided with other significant political developments in the history of our nation. We have just concluded elections and inaugurations that have ushered in a new political dispensation and leaderships, both at the county level and at the national level. Fresh administrative and leadership teams are being installed in both levels as Kenyans look up in anticipation of changes that will hopefully transform their lives for the better. It is against this exciting backdrop that today we launch the OSR study report. Ladies and gentlemen, Article 299 of the Constitution vests in the county governments the powers to raise revenue by imposing taxes and charges for services delivered. This provides counties with an additional source of revenue over and above the equitable share and conditional grants that fund the activities of the devolved units. For the last decade of devolution, collection of OSR has been a game of hit and misses for the counties. In many instances, stagnating at between 9 to 12% of the total county budgets as captured in the county budgets. Matters took a downward spiral in 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic wave across our land hit our land, forcing lockdowns and curfews. This global pandemic dealt a crippling blow to small businesses, enterprises, services, and other business entities in our counties, in effect, constraining income generation from the bulk of OSR streams. Inevitably, the situation heightened county government's reliance on financing from the national government, not only in mounting responses to the pandemic, but also for their own survival. While the pandemic is to a great extent contained and is somewhat behind us, the situation is yet to normalize for most counties. On-source revenue streams largely remain below optimal levels, as it has been demonstrated by the report. This suboptimal trend or performance created the need for concerted efforts by all stakeholders to interrogate and get fresh insights into how OSR could be enhanced and reinvigorated to bolster county government's financial standing. I wish to commend CRA for spearheading the quest in this regard, culminating in the publication we are launching today. The study and report presents a raft of recommendations which seek to shore up revenue collection in the counties. In my view, these proposals should elicit a paradigm shift in the way the matter of OSR is handled going forward. It is imperative, ladies and gentlemen, to emphasize that OSR remains a key feature of any bid to insulate counties against perennial cash shortfalls triggered by near absolute reliance on shared revenue from the national coffers. Indeed, as the report postulates, county governments have the potential to collect 216 billion Kenya shillings annually from their key revenue streams from the current 31 billion. Urban counties, in particular, can raise adequate revenue to cover their operations and ease the burden of our national treasury if they apply the best practice in revenue collection. It is my considered view that OSR might just be the magic bullet we have all along desired in order to give revenue collection and financial management in counties a new lease of life and have more resources reserved for improved service delivery and development. This event provides an excellent opportunity for all stakeholders in the devolution space to receive and examine the findings contained in this report, which will constitute a useful guide in a national discussion on matters on source revenue. Consequently, the relevance of the OSR potential estimates is to provide realistic parameters and figures for setting OSR targets, which will inform subsequent budgeting processes. My commitment to CRA is that the Senate will play its due role to ensure all needed legislations by counties in exercising powers under Article 299, 209, and 210 of the Constitution to impose, vary, or waive taxes, fees, levies, and other charges will be enacted. As a country, we should aspire to entrench financial autonomy in our devolved units and cap the heavy reliance on the exchequer. This will accord the National Treasury space to direct resources to other critical national obligations, such as responding to emergency situations facing sections of our population and taking care of the huge debt burden and other emergent situations. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this juncture to invite you to join me in a reflective journey on a matter that I believe is similarly timely, more so as the Fourth Senate of the 13th Parliament gets down to its business in the wake of its official opening by His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto on the 29th September 2022. It has been 10 years since our country reverted to a devolved system of governance. A key feature of this development was the creation of the 47 devolved units, or counties, which have helped take significant resources, essential services, and development closer to the Kenyan people than ever before. Article 96 of the Constitution accords the Senate of the Republic of Kenya unfettered jurisdiction over the affairs of the 47 counties and their governments, besides discharging other critical national roles required of it as part of the bicameral parliament. In a nutshell, the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect their interests. It participates in the lawmaking function of Parliament by considering, debating, and approving bills concerning counties as provided for in Article 109 and 113, determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to the county governments. This follows, therefore, that all matters touching on devolution, including the way counties undertake financial management for the benefit of Kenyans, must at all times receive thorough consideration of the Senate, which then makes decisions and interventions as required of it by the Constitution and other applying laws. The Commission on Revenue Allocation is one of the commissions and independent offices rightly christened as the Chapter 15 institutions that stand out for their key role in actualizing devolution. Set up under Article 215 of the Constitution, CRA has its roles clearly spelled out in Article 2016, which inter alia involve making recommendations concerning the basis for the equitable sharing of revenue raised by the national government between the national government and county governments and among county governments. That is the vertical and horizontal sharing. The Commission also makes recommendations on matters touching on the financing and financial management by county governments as guided by the criteria set under Article 2031. Finally, the Commission is required to submit its recommendation to the Senate, the National Assembly, the National Executive, county assemblies, and county executives. Therefore, in the execution of their constitutional mandates, the Senate and the Commission are key and indispensable partners in implementing devolution and ensuring its success. The work of CRA on matters determining parameters for division of revenue and all other factors touching on revenue in the counties feeds into the role of the Senate as the ultimate defender of devolution. This symbiotic institutional partnership calls for a closer working relationship between the Senate and CRA through more definitive, consultative, and structured engagements. This can be done without undermining the unique rules that the Constitution bestows on each of our two institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to reiterate that my vision as Speaker of the Fourth Senate is to see a more regularity, responsiveness, and productive outputs in our engagement with CRA, geared towards achieving greater benefit for our counties. Going forward, we should subject our joint activities to some kind of evaluation mechanism within agreed timelines to assess what we have achieved and what more that we can do together in our collective pursuit and goal of ensuring the success of devolution. I envisage a partnership in which our technical teams and committees are given the leeway to consult more strategically and intensively to ensure outcomes of such engagements inform future legislative initiatives and interventions. As the Senate, we are duty-bound to support the Commission on revenue allocation through the requisite legislative interventions and other practical ways to ensure CRA discharges its mandate more effectively, efficiently, and for the benefit of all Kenyans. Thank you, and may God bless.